Hello, learners. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are. Um, this one is gonna be a Python introduction series. Basically, I'm going to create so many videos because I'm kind of learning the Python as part of my AI projects, and this series is specifically for the Python, and I'm going to introduce you to this language, and also I'm going to uh, put some more videos about what are all the things that you can learn and leverage yourself with respect to AI and machine learning using Python. So in today's video, we're just going to talk about very specifically how to install the required softwares, and give you some introduction about those. And That's the major thing which just we are going to focus on it. So um, so the Python is basically, it's a high level interpreted programming language that was created by Guido Van, and first released in 1991. It is designed with an emphasis on code readability, and its syntax allows programmers to express concepts in fewer lines of code than might be possible in languages such as C++ or Java or C Sharp. Python supports multiple programming paradigms like including procedural, object-oriented, and functional programming. It has large standard library that includes areas like internet protocols, string operations, web services tools, and operating system interfaces. One of the key features of Python is its use of indentation to mark blocks of code. So you may have noticed in Java or C Sharp, you have a open parenthesis or close parenthesis to indicate any if or for loops or any conditions. But this in Python, it's an indentation that so you have to be careful about that. This makes the code easier to read and understand. Python is a dynamically typed and garbage collector, which means that the type of a variable is checked during runtime, and memory management is handled by the language automatically, which is similar to many other languages. Okay, but still Python is pretty fast, and performance wise it's very good. That's what I read through so far. Python is widely used in various areas, especially the web development, data analysis, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and scientific computing. Our focus of this series will be mostly in artificial intelligence, data analysis, and machine learning. Anyway, so it's known for its vibrant community that contributes to its rich ecosystem of open source libraries and framework. Python's simplicity and power have led to its adoption by both beginners and experts in the field of programming, making it one of the most popular programming languages today. So I have tons of experience in C Sharp and .NET. I also have done a lot of codings in Go programming, but Python is something which I really like it and I really want to learn it. So I'm going to talk about what softwares that you typically need to work on the Python. So I have some instructions here. Basically, you need Anaconda installer. Okay, so you can go to Anaconda, something like this, like Anaconda Python installer. If you just put it this way, you see, it's as simple as that. You just provide your email address, you get an email um, with a link to install or download the software. The moment you download it, I think you can. It's a self-explanatory that you can start installing it in your Mac or Windows, whichever the operating system that you're using. You can do that, and so I have installed the software, and I'm gonna open up that. um, yeah, so it's called Anaconda Navigator. So this is the installation software, and I'm gonna open it. So the moment you install it, it would probably come up something like this. So let's give a little bit of time. So you can see the PyCharm Professional, Anaconda Toolbox, Anaconda Cloud Notebooks, Jupyter Lab, Jupyter Notebook. These are all so many things that the Anaconda Navigator has. It's an open source system, but the specific thing which we are going to focus on is called the Jupyter Notebook. To learn Python, the Jupyter Notebook is the best thing that I would really recommend you to go through it. And you can see that there are so many folders and stuffs, but the point is that I'm not going to explain you too much, so you can just open a notebook, and that just select, you need to select whatever the Python IPY kernel and just select that part. And so this one has a code part and a markdown part. So markdown part is nothing but introduction, something like introduction to introduction to Python, and then if you just run it, that will just create it like a heading or something. And then you can make this as a code, so you can say that x is equal to 25 and then print of x. So if you just run this code, then it will print 25. So print is a command that is there in the that's there in Python framework. There is nothing much into it, but what I'm trying to say is if you install the Anaconda Navigator, I'm just leaving it to you to go through and explore this Anaconda Navigator and whatever the things that it is there are so many videos that you can. I'm not going to explain everything about this one. I'm just going to focus on only the things that are relevant, and I'm just giving you some small introduction, whatever the things that even if I'm explaining to you, as long as you go and read it, that's when it's going to be helpful for you. So the Pythons, there are so much of latest versions that's available. So by default, the Anaconda Navigator gets you the required version. Python 3 is, I think, 3.10.2 or something, whatever that is, the latest. I'm not sure. I'm not good in tracking about the versions, but so let's go back to our thing, which is the Anaconda Navigator. So far I've introduced you what you should do. Like you need to install the Anaconda Navigator, and then you need to install Jupyter. Just open the Jupyter network and you can start coding right away. I'm not gonna suggest you to work on any idle or PyCharm or anything, because to learn, Jupyter is the best place for Python. Okay, so there. All right, so I'm gonna show you about the other one which I'm typically using right now. I mean, if you really want to use the Anaconda Navigator to do it locally, that's absolutely fine. But I'm gonna explain you about there is something called Google Colab. Okay. So Google, I think the Google Colab is you can go something like collab dot. You can search for that, and it will take you to this place. So far, what we have done so far is we launched the installer, and we have choose the installation options. So these are all something that you can go through when you do the installation of Anaconda. And also you can introduction to Jupyter network. This is what we just covered orally, but I have not shared the screens that because I have opened the Anaconda Navigator, and also I've showed many things in there. Jupyter Network is an open source web application that allows you to create and share documents that contain live code, equations, visualizations, and text. It's maintained by people at Project Jupyter. Here are some of the key features that this notebook has, which I'm going to show you in a minute. Just a second, let me show you that so that you can understand what I'm talking about. All right, so I've started to share my entire screen so that you can able to see what I'm, the navigator I'm talking about. So this one is the Anaconda Navigator I was just explaining. All right, okay. So Anaconda Navigator has PyCharm Professional. You can install that toolbox. You have a cloud notebooks, and then Jupyter Lab. You have so many other things that in it. The main thing which we wanted to be um, you know involved with that is the Jupyter network. So you can go here and you can just new, and you can say a notebook. So there are so many other options that is available, like you can create a terminal, text file, markdown file, Python file. You have so many things, like you can go for a console, but in this part I'm gonna be talking about this one. So you can enter something here, which is like, you have an option to say whether it's a code or a markdown. This is all the two main things that you need to worry about. So markdown is nothing but it's like a notebook. You have a place where you can write about uh, you can write about so many things as a heading, something like introduction to Python. Okay, and then you just run it, so that will create something like a heading for you, and then you can say x is equal to 25, and then print of x. Okay, so if I just run, this is a code, and then if I just run it, it's gonna print it. So this is like a script, in between. You create a list of information when you do data analysis, or when you want to submit some information. The people want to go through some of the scripts in between, and they want to connect with the different backend systems, and they want to see the data, right? So this kind of documentation will be very helpful, so that at a live you can see the data, and also you can read through what is the results or what is the explanation you want to provide. So I like this Jupyter network, and very very good for, I really strongly recommend anybody to understand this tool really good, so that you can learn the Python in a better way. Okay, so we just introduced you to this Jupyter network that is locally installed, but I'm going to talk about the thing that we mostly will use is the Google Colab. The Google Colab has a separate, you can create a new notebook separately. You just have to log in with your own user ID, password of the Google, and you can just go here. It has its own text, and you have a code. You can text, you can code whatever that you want to create, you can create it. You can add more codes here, you can add text here. So it has all the capability, to create a data documentation, or the data scientist probably will use it. So this is where I created it. I have a Python introduction, and I am talking about the software and the introduction to Jupyter network. All these are all, like, if you take a look at what I have done is, I created a markup language, and then I just have pasted the HTMLs here, whatever that is required for this video, and I created it like what is it? So I just created it so that it provides all this information. So Google Colab is something like a magic book for young wizards. Imagine you have a super powerful computer that you can use anytime from anywhere, and it's absolutely free. That's what Google Colab is like. It's like a magic box where you can write, draw, even run some cool tricks called code, right? The magic book lives on the internet, so you can use it from anywhere, from computer, tablet, or even from your phone. So what you can do with this is, you can write a code, you can write instructions for the computer to follow. It's like teaching your computer to do new tricks. Run the code. After you write your code, you can tell the computer to run it. It's like saying abracadabra, watching the magic happen. Then share your work. So I can share this network, this notebook with you all. You can go and take a look at that, and it's really fun to work in Google Colab, where you can bring so many people, and they all can share their ideas into this, and start your journey to become good in Python. So that's all about the Anaconda Navigator, Jupyter network, and the Google Colab. In the next set of videos, we'll talk more about the Pythons, what is Python, and how we can make use of this particular Google Colab to learn Python. So that ends my video today. Thanks for watching, guys.